Hello everyone, this is Matthew from Carrera LLC. This is a disclaimer that the following video is intended for business development needs only. It is intended to investigate the investment opportunities present at Angkor Wat. This is not for distribution. These are top industry secrets. Thank you.
Hi there. What are you listening to?
I'm listening to Angkor Wat by the Cultural Astronomers. It's my favorite.
I've never heard of that. How does it go?
It's kind of like the biggest religious monument on Earth. Could it be Fort Worth? Maybe it's China, or even North Carolina. But alas, it's not. It's actually Angkor Wat. Originally devoted to Hindu gods, it survived into the era of AirPods.
Wow, I really love that. Can you tell me more about Angkor Wat?
Sure!
Let's dive a bit more into the history of Angkor Wat, the largest religious monument ever built. As Matthew said, Angkor Wat is the temple complex inside of the city of Angkor, which once was around the size of Berlin, with 750,000 citizens. It was the largest empire of the time being mainly the 12th century and into the early part of the 13th century. It was built by the Khmer king Suryavarman II in the beginning of the 12th century, and it took around 30 years to complete. Therefore, this complex is around 900 years old. By the 15th century, the city of Angkor had been mostly abandoned and left to only the Buddhist monks who maintained the complex. The structure itself contained a temple, royal palace, protective walls, and a moat. Within the sandstone walls are 200 plus acres housing over 1,000 structures. These walls house bas-reliefs, or 2,000 celestial dancers, all unique, that depict deities and figures from both Buddhism and Hinduism. The temple itself was built to safeguard the emperor's remains. Access to such is possible through 7 entrances. However, the main entrance, Western Gopura, is accessed over a lengthy bridge, and then through 3 separate galleries, with sculptures from Mahabharata and Ramayana. You can notice that the temple is symmetrical, with each tower shaped like a lotus bud. The purpose of this ranges from fertility to prosperity to eternity in Hindu religion. Through LiDAR, which is laser technology, researchers have found a massive network of canals, roads, and temples littering the forest around the main temple that proves this was a city, and in particular, a city center, full of monasteries, houses, markets, schools, and communities, organized into blocks around ponds. Angkor is often called the largest city built in human history before the Industrial Revolution. After the 15th century, the complex was not touched by the world again until French rule started in 1860 and numerous brutal Cambodian civil wars broke out.
Angkor Wat has very important religious significance. For starters, it is the single largest religious complex in the world. It was originally built by King Suryavarman II, both as a place to house his remains and as a devotional to the Hindu gods, primarily Vishnu. There is a statue of Vishnu at the main entrance, so visitors can place offerings, and the fact that the main entrance is at the west represents new life through Vishnu. There is also an abundance of artwork of important Hindu scenes, some of which can't even be seen by the naked eye. One of the most famous examples would be the churning of the ocean of milk, where the good gods and evil gods trick the demons into giving over ambrosia so the gods can become immortal. The archaeology of the complex also shows the religious importance. Angkor Wat has 5 towers, which represent the 5 peaks of Mount Meru, which is where the Hindu gods were said to have lived. Additionally, the moat around the temple represents the ocean surrounding Mount Meru. When the city of Angkor was sacked in the 12th century, the people believed their Hindu gods had failed them, so the temple was converted into a Buddhist site, and most of the art was switched to represent Buddhism, but not long after, the city was abandoned.
Angkor Wat has many astrological alignments. In fact, researchers have discovered a possible 22 of them. The most notable of them is the alignment of the solstices and the equinoxes. The sunrise of the summer solstice aligns the sun to the western entrance of Angkor Wat. The winter solstice aligns to the eastern entrance to Angkor Wat. There are also zenith alignments to the central tower of Angkor Wat. On the autumnal and spring equinoxes, the sun rises just overhead of the central tower. This sunrise on the equinox above the central tower is supposed to represent the one above Mount Meru. The people who built the structure also invented a new unit of measurement called the cubit. The central area of the temple is measured at 189 cubits east-west and 176 cubits north-south. This sums to 365. This is the length of the solar year in days. Researchers have not been able to determine if there is a connection between the numbers and astronomy. Additionally, carved on the sides of the monument are asuras and devas. These are the gods and demons of the Cambodian people. The number of these figures adds up to the days between the equinox and the solstice. Although these numbers are significant, it is hard to tell if they actually mean anything substantial. Additionally to the alignments, movements of the sun and moon can be observed all around the temple. There were 3 libraries in the structure dedicated to the lunar cycles. The site has a clear connection to many astronomical phenomena.
Quick, what's the coolest thing about Angkor Wat?
Their water management system. Cambodia actually gets over a meter of water every year in their monsoon seasons, and they have really crazy monsoon seasons, but then they enter a really intense dry period and they don't get any water. So they need a steady source of water flow, especially for their rice production. And with their water management system, which was actually 2 massive reservoirs, the West Baray, or the West Reservoir, is actually the largest hand-dug reservoir on the planet, and that can hold over 48 million cubic meters of water, and this really allowed Angkor Wat to prosper.
Here you go. It's your turn now.
Okay, we gotta find someone. Oh no. Oh, you! What's the coolest thing about Angkor Wat?
I have to say the alignments with the solstices. The designers of Angkor Wat clearly had the intent to line the dates up with the solstices and the equinoxes to really make a special place that is very deeply connected to a religion that they follow as well.
Wow. It's your turn now.
You! What's your favorite thing about Angkor Wat?
The fact that it's the largest religious monument on Earth and just how crazy intricate all of the art is, it's so amazing to me.
Awesome.
Why should Carrera LLC invest in tourism at Angkor Wat?
Thank you for the question, Mr. Carrera. Angkor Wat is an incredible feat of ancient civilization. It's clear that the people who designed and built Angkor Wat paid close attention to astronomy. Many people come from around the world to experience the incredible alignments of solstices and equinoxes. The site has just been named one of the wonders of the world. The monument is also a huge symbol of the region's history.
The Khmer built it as a religious monument, but at the same time, it records human technological advancement. It symbolizes the feat that people in Southeast Asia were able to achieve when Europe was in the Dark Ages. There is also a massive religious significance to the location. Many people travel to connect with their religion. Investing at tourism at Angkor Wat would be a great financial decision.
Interesting.